My name is Jennifer. I'm 39 years old, and this is my stem cell journey. So I first started noticing that I had knee issues about 3 years ago after my son was born. I thought maybe I was just working out too hard, trying to get back into shape after having a baby. So I would just take some Advil and have to ice kind of semi-regularly. Then I got back into tennis, and tennis magnified the problem. My knees would swell up the size of grapefruits, and going up and down stairs was very difficult. My range of motion was very limited. And so when things started getting worse over time, I decided to go see a specialist. At the orthopedic clinic, my doctor ordered x-rays and an MRI, and it was at that point that they told me I had arthritis. Now granted, at the time I was 36, 37, so you hear the word arthritis and you think that's only something that old people get, right? I felt like I was way too young to be suffering from arthritis already. But at that point I was given prescription strength anti-inflammatories and they put me on a physical therapy routine. When these things were only mildly improving my condition, I started seeking alternative therapies. So I tried hyperbaric oxygen chambers, I've tried cryotherapy, I've tried the Normatec compression therapy, and I tried the TINS electrostim machine kind of therapy. And all of these things worked nicely while I was doing them, probably maybe an 80% improvement in pain and swelling, but they felt unsustainable. Arthritis isn't something that ever goes away or heals, so these options started getting really expensive and really time consuming for me, and it just didn't feel like something I could commit to long term. About 2 years ago, I had to just completely stop playing tennis altogether. The toll it would take on my body for even just one cardio tennis clinic wasn't worth being out for the whole rest of the week. Not to mention my match game suffered because I was so afraid of the aftermath of playing that I couldn't play aggressively enough for it to even be fun. Fast forward to after the twins were born, everything felt progressively worse. And I went back to the doctor at this point, and now I had a meniscus tear in my knee. So in March of this year, I eventually ended up just having to have surgery on that knee. They cleaned up the arthritis while they were in there, and cleaned up the tear and everything, and then afterwards gave me a cortisone shot in each knee. I'd been hearing about stem cells through my trainer and professional athlete friends for several months prior to the point that my husband told me to listen to the Joe Rogan podcast that was featuring Mel Gibson and Dr. Neil Reardon. But the day that I listened to that podcast, I went on Amazon and I bought Dr. Reardon's book, and I just became an absolute Google maniac at that point. I was obsessed with stem cells. I wanted to know everything there was to know about them, and I ended up contacting some American doctors to find out what they could do here. Some of them are just now starting to do the kind of stem cells I'm interested in, the umbilical cord stem cells, but they're all still pretty new, and their treatment was really lackluster compared to everything that I learned from the clinic in Panama. Ultimately, arthritis is a lifelong issue. I'm 39 years old, and I'm already taking the maximum dose of Advil that I should probably be taking. I'm on the road to a lifetime of cortisone injections if I want to stay active. And the saddest thing is I know that my condition's just going to get worse over time. So these things that I'm doing wreak havoc on your body. They are not good for you. They are not cures. They address symptoms like swelling and pain, but they are terrible for you in the long run. So that is what helped me make the decision that I booked an appointment down in Panama for next week. I leave next Monday. I'm going to be there for a week, and it'll be 3 days of treatment, both IVs and knee injections. And I will keep you posted. Anyone who's interested in following along, I'll post all my progress. They say it usually takes between 2 and 10 weeks to start seeing some of these symptoms improve, see some of the progress. So follow along if you're interested, and wish me luck.